I want to share a bit more about how to create patterns like this, whether you're drawing them or using them as mosaics. And it's about using what I call the center tesserae system, which is a system I developed because I had no idea with the underlying geometry, with learning the geometry first, because what I found when I started to look into this many years ago was that you were supposed to learn this before you learned how to create the patterns. And this is a problem that we have, that you're learning a skill that I wasn't comfortable with at the time. I found very difficult. I had no idea how to start, and the information that I saw was very complex. It was learning this before you got near the mosaic pattern. So what is the alternative to that? So this is what we want to create, and this is a Solomon's knot with an interwoven square. We know it's that because when we take this apart, let's put those up there, and let's take this over here and here, and that's going to go there, that's coming up there, and we have there's your interwoven square. Let's bring that over a little bit. You can tell this isn't AI generated. There's your interwoven square. There's your two chain links that create the Solomon's knot. So this is the structure. This is the underlying geometry. So how do we get that? How do we create the pattern from that, which is the structure, without having to go through all the geometry learning? Simple. What I did was find and look for all these single white center tesserae, and they gave me the structure that the strands would wrap around, because essentially what they're doing is they are just interwoven pieces that, if you think of them as three-dimensional objects that you can literally pick up and pull around, it makes it a lot easier. It makes it a lot more logical to do it that way, rather than getting yourself forced into a very precise model. Now you can do that, you can go and you can create the patterns very precisely. Sometimes you need to with your mosaics, but you don't have to when you're learning. You learn how to create these patterns, then you get more precise. You don't start with the precision. So from here, if we take all these out of the way, and I'm going to do it at a smaller scale first. So we start with one in the centre there, always that single white centre tesserae right in the centre of the pattern. Now if you can see what I'm Now I've been drawing in just all the little squares, all those single white center tesserae, and I'm also going to add a small mark, which is the edges of the square. Let's put that out there. Now I'm going to start drawing in, and there is a system to this. Once you've learnt it, you will look at all of them the same way. When we put the pieces back on, you'll see how they correspond to this. And as you can see, I'm not worried about being really precise. That's not needed at this stage. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, I have trouble using a compass properly. So, that last one. Now let's get red. There you can see that is your interwoven square. And let's get that's one of the chain links of the Solomon's knot. All I did was understand where to put those single white centre tesserae. I didn't need the geometry, I was looking for the structure. Created what it is, not what is representing it underneath. So this is a way that you can use that anyone can learn without having to learn that geometry there. So if we have a look here, if we're going to put this back, this isn't quite to scale, but there. Now I'm going to put in these, let's put in all of these, see how they're fitting on there. There's part of the Solomon's knot links, there's our interwoven square, so make sure that the colours match up as well. And there's your pattern back, there's your mosaic, there's the structure back again, simply by understanding where these are positioned. So if you'd like to learn how to do this, if you'd like me to walk you through this, there is a course for it. There's the information down below this video, and if you've got any questions, just let me know. But this is a way to create all these strand patterns, the borders as well as the motifs, without having to learn that geometry. That can come later. What I want you to do is to see the structure of the pattern and create that either as just a drawing or as a mosaic. If you want to get pushed into that really precise copying, then you can do that later. But first, see the structure, see the pattern.